Did you make it out of DMV?
Oh, hold on. I gotta get my audio is not working yet. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
All right, say something for me.
I said, did you make it to DMV?
Yes, it's a miracle. I got in and I got out within like 30 minutes. I should count my blessings.
Awesome. Well, I clicked the live button, so we're live. Hopefully, someone will show up. I sent it out to everyone I could think of. I just hope it's fun and people show up and have a good conversation.
Yeah, no, I think it should be a great time. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Have you heard from B this morning?
Yeah, he should be in here any minute. I actually thought he was going to beat me here, but yeah, he should be in here any minute if I had to guess.
All right. I like the vintage hat, man. That's a
Yeah,
cool hat.
it's a Wooden Grail. That's the brand here. It doesn't fit my head super well, but it fit the Liverpool. I'm a big Liverpool fan, and the Premier League starts this weekend, so I had to wear the Liverpool jersey today.
Do you think that college football should go to sort of a Premier Champions League sort of model where there are tiers and relegation?
I don't. They have the number for it. Like, there's obviously enough college football teams for it. There's more than enough universities. I don't. I think, like, if we're looking at a situation where we had the opportunity to do it, it would certainly be interesting. I don't know. I feel like the format just kind of works for like the sport of soccer, or just European football, whatever you want to call it, whatever you prefer to call it. I think it works better for that than it does for American football. But it would be very interesting. It'd be certainly interesting to see if like teams could get relegated to the FCS if they were bad enough. I mean, I would assume Washington would have in 2008, considering what happened then.
Yeah. That would have been very satisfying.
Extremely satisfying. Extremely satisfying.
Send them to oblivion.
I agree. I completely agree. Well, how have you been doing, Dale? It's been a minute since we chatted.
It's been great. It's been incredibly immersive to do this thing and experience it. I find that I told a couple of guys yesterday on shows that I did, I find it's improved my marriage because all of this practicing, talking, and listening just kind of opens something up in a person. It's amazing.
Yeah, I really enjoyed my time on here. I've been doing a couple shows since I hopped in here with you a few weeks ago, and I'm trying to hop in some more. I've been really enjoying it. It's been a good time.
Well, that's awesome. If you wanted to have a vehicle to have a spot where you did a show, I would definitely mute myself or hide myself and let you run one. That's what I'm doing today. Triple A is here. We're gonna add it. Hey, Trip.
Hey, good morning.
Have you met Big Duck Energy from Virginia?
I have not.
Hey, how's it going?
Wait, hey, go Ducks.
Yes, sir. Go Ducks.
Well, BDE and Bistro are the hosts of today's show. Later on, I'm going to just be in the background answering comments and sending out invitations. Really glad you stopped by.
Yeah, it's a little early on my end, but I'm here.
Are you in Anchorage today?
No, I'm still in California.
Okay.
Still in Granite Bay.
All right. Well, BDE is in Virginia, and he went to DMV this morning before the show.
Yeah, early morning for me as well.
Man, yeah. I'm starting my day early. I've got shoot day. Got to shoot today and tomorrow. Got to go out to San Jose. So I've got games. We still got Major League Soccer going on. We've got the women's side, NWSL tomorrow. and it's going to overlap with football season, so things are going to be busy.
Busy time of year.
Yeah, and let's see, coming up here, apart from the Ducks starting up, of course, got Cal and Stanford, and got all the other schools. I got my eyes on young AJ Tuatele over at Cal, who, I can't help but think every time I see him, I'm like, what a miss. How did we not get him? His dad was a Duck. Dale, you might remember AJ Tuatele.
I do remember him. He had a fake punt return in the Las Vegas Bowl that felt like it was going to turn their game around for a second or two until he fumbled at the end of the punt return after going about 50 yards.
These infamous things, right? They happened. But yeah, I thought the kid was for sure going to be a Duck until he landed and became a Bear. So he's highly touted and on a couple of watch lists early. So I'm gonna go and check him out a few times this year. See what
Cal's
he
gonna
does
be
against.
they're gonna be a fun team to watch. I'm really looking forward to watching them this season.
Could be a dark horse.
Truthfully.
They really could surprise people. The ACC is complicated. I think their key matchup is going to be when they have Clemson come to town, and if they can take care of business there, maybe they have a shot at making a real dent. And who knows? We'll see. Stanford, on the other hand, I don't know. I don't think anybody's got them on any radar whatsoever, but we're going to see what they can do with their leadership, with their coaching staff, with some new players. Now with the parity of everybody buying players and people transferring around, you just don't know what you're going to get until you see it materialize on the field.
Yeah, I wish we had the opportunity to play these Stanford teams instead of the ones that we played in the 2010s. That's
Sorry about that. I had an alarm go off reminding me that we were going to start the show.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Cal's schedule here, it's definitely favorable for them. Having Clemson come to the West Coast is huge. They have
hold on here. Somehow I have lost audio. Where did my audio go?
Pitt coming out there too. That's very favorable.
And you know that Tosh can create some momentum and energy. I mean,
Dale, somehow I've lost show audio.
Are you direct connected to the internet?
Let me see. Okay. I may need to log out and log back in here. I somehow seem to have lost audio, which is
all right.
Strange. All right, I'm going to do that.
All right.
Bear with me as I leave you and return.
All right. Well, it's down to you and it's down to me. I challenge you to a battle of wits.
All right. I'm here for it.
You'd win. Megan.
Oh, hey.
Megan, do you know BDE?
I think so.
Introduce yourselves. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, we follow each other. Big Duck Energy.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
we follow each other.
And I'm back with audio.
Bistro!
Hey, it's
yes. Having some technical difficulties. Apologize.
I did too this morning. It must be a Saturday.
That part. It's got to be a Saturday.
It's a Monday, Saturday. It's fine.
Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Stro, are you still in Houston?
I'm in Dallas.
Oh, you're in Dallas. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in Dallas. Actually, I'm in Princeton, so I'm east of Allen, where Kyler Murray played football.
Hmm.
Uh,
He's the Malice from Dallas, former D3 defensive lineman at Manchester, Ohio.
Indiana,
Well,
Bistro,
Indiana.
Indiana. God.
Yeah.
next time I make a trip to Dallas, we'll have to get together.
Let me know, man. Let me know. People hit me up when they in town. They ask me for places to go, food recommendations. I actually had a chance to meet Jackson Powers Johnson's dad back in 22. Had a great conversation with him, which led me to believe in his staff. So here we are.
He was a great guy.
Oh yeah. Oh
I,
yeah.
s- I still like to, see what these guys are up to, and for the ones who are playing in the league, I like to see how they do.
Definitely. It's
You
beautiful to
know,
see, succeed.
well, and Oregon has a strong history of developing centers in particular. Um, and this new offensive line is one to watch. Um,
Oh yeah.
Apart from the fact that they're Ducks, and I'm just going to watch them anyway.
I know,
I think
definitely. I mean,
they could
you
all
got
go.
guys. Oh, definitely, definitely. You got guys like Poncho, Iuli, definitely. I'm interested to see how these two freshmen show up. Zaire Addison, we've got some youth. We've got some guys who took their time and developed, and some have waited longer than others. And they're all just waiting for their chance. And if they get their chance, you just want to see them succeed.
Well, they're going to get that chance. Opening up against Boise, not my favorite team to open up against, but
Well, I
there's
mean,
some.
for years,
At
you
least
had
we're at
to.
Yeah,
home though.
it's a
Yeah,
different Boise,
yeah.
sure.
But I mean, landing in the last time they played, they were able to, get that Boise monkey off our backs, as you would say. So, you just hope that they can build on that and continue to win against them and, build to be 1-0 for the next week so you can go to Stillwater and face OK State because that's going to be a game with a lot of eyes on it.
I'm more nervous about that game.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, I
I think
am.
that one's gonna
I'm
be rough.
actually like kind of legit nervous about that game, to be completely honest.
Interesting.
I see it as a Texas Tech type game. I
Yeah.
think, maybe.
Yeah. See, and the thing for me is like how Signetti had his guys come from James Madison with him. A lot of these guys at Oklahoma State, the quarterback, running back, receivers, came from North Texas. They played over in Denton, about 45 minutes from where I'm from, and they all left and went to Stillwater. And that quarterback was a
Yeah.
true freshman and led the nation in passing, which, hey, some of these quarterbacks from Texas, they have arms. A lot of these schools run a spread offense, and some of them will let their quarterback throw the ball. And hey, if you're a school that wants a quarterback that can throw the ball, you're going to look to get a quarterback out of Texas. And we're going to see what he can do because he's facing, a legit defense and our defense because Lanning is a defensive guy and recruited well on the defensive side. And we're going to see Hampton's first. Well, I can't say first true chest because Boise's going to throw the kitchen sink at us too. But OK State's going to come out and, especially at home, they're going to come out and try to do something.
Yeah.
They're going to try to make some noise. That place is going to be rocking. If the defense travels well as it should, and the offense just do what we're supposed to do, I think we have a shot to go in and take control of the game and leave with a W.
Have we played? Have we
Well,
played in
we
Stillwater
need to.
before?
I don't know if we played in
I don't
Stillwater
think so.
before, but I mean it's a weird place to play. I've
Yeah.
seen some now. Living in Texas for the last 16 years and watching Big 12 games. OK State is a weird place to. It's like going to Pullman. That's how I could put it. It's like
No,
when we
don't put that evil on us.
no, but it's like when you
No,
see
but
a
that's a
team
good
go to
comp.
Pullman,
Yeah.
like it's that weird vibe. But
Yeah,
that
yeah.
place can that place can be packed or that place can be
Yeah.
really really quiet. And last year it was really really different for them because they got rid of their longtime head coach. That guy's been there for
Yeah.
over a decade, and so now you have a new regime, and they're going to try to build something to get that fire back in the fan base, and then you have a donor like T Boone. You know, he's up there with Phil Knight as far as a donor. The guy's got his name on a school's building down here in Dallas. I was driving past it, and I look up and I just see T Boone Pig, and I said, "Wait a minute, the guy's got his name on a school building here in Dallas." But I'm like, you know what? When you have money like that, you can spread it and donate. So they're gonna try to do something. I see them being a problem coming up, especially now that they are in a different direction now that Gundy's gone. Um, but I still think that we're going to be way more talented and more than what they can handle. I don't think it'll be the score what it was last year. I think it'll be like 40 something to 20 something. Ducks. They're going to have some fire to hang in the game for a little bit, but we're going to be able to take that momentum. We've got the guys who've got experience in key positions such as quarterback, running backs, our receivers, O line, D line. Pretty much the whole team has the experience. It's just putting it all together, especially in this type of game. This will get us ready for going to the Coliseum 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later.
Well, you never know. With the challenge, of course, of going into someone else's house and having a new coach, a new regime, one that you haven't studied, that you have no film on, really.
Oh yeah,
And then you are coming up on a group of players who have a long history together, playing this team sport. Just like Signetti and his boys, these guys know each other. They've gelled, they know what to do, and they're going to do it their way. I'm sure that the coaches have broken down plenty of North Texas film looking at that. But it's going to be different. So, and so is this Boise team, right? That's going to be different. You got a whole
oh
new
yeah.
thing going on there. So these are some big tests to open up with. I think it's good. Um, I'd rather they open up to say I would have liked to have seen them get a warm up game. If we're going to play Portland State, it would have been nice to do that as game one. But
Honestly, I think it worked out for us better this way. You get your
Yeah.
two tests up front. You get that opportunity to get your ones and twos. These okay. This is to get you in game shape. This is to get you against some really good competition. And then that
And then
third
you don't
game,
have anybody saying, "Oh, a couple, yeah, you beat Portland State, cool."
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
Yeah.
that's the tune up game to get those threes and fours, those reps in the Portland State game. So then the next game you're at the Coliseum, you're coming out with your ones and twos, and then you might slide some of those threes and four guys in there if they're elite guys to be able to get in rotation. And you're going to be trying to roll from there because once conference starts, that's when you're rolling with your best players for real. Um, so it'll be interesting. These first two games will be like, hey, we're seeing competition. These aren't cupcakes. We've got to really put some grit into this. And then you get the Portland State game. Okay, we're at home. Let's open it up big. We're up 35-42 at half or something crazy. In the second half, we let those guys that don't get a lot of reps, let them get those reps. Because the next week you're in conference and you're at the Coliseum. And then you're
Yeah.
rolling through conference and you got to get ready for USC, Ohio State, UCLA, Michigan, Michigan State.
And we're
Uh,
in the shoe this year.
yeah, we're at the
Yeah.
shoe. The first time in 4 years,
Yeah.
and the last time, well, no, 5 years because it was 2021.
Yeah. 5 years. Yep.
Uh, and so of course, everybody remembers that because that was a crazy day. And now we're going back after what we've had happen, back in 2024. So it's a lot of stories in that Ohio State game. I know one
Yeah.
fan, I forgot my man's name, KB, I think it was KB 23, tweeted about, we have that Ohio State problem when it comes to those games for bowls and playoffs. It's a freaking gorilla. Like we've won regular season matchups with Ohio State, but when it comes to having stuff on the line, we have not showed up. Like we'll put up a little bit of a fight, but it gets ugly and now
And quick.
we've gotta like Lanning and staff, especially Lanning, he's got to get that, as I said, that monkey note. We got to get that gorilla off our back when it comes time for that big time game because last year it was Signetti, the year before it was Ohio State, but Oregon's had issues with Ohio State post regular season since going back to the 2010 Rose Bowl with Chip Kelly. So now
I
we've
was
got to,
there.
we've got to build. We've made it to those, to say the big dance, but every time we got there, the clock struck midnight, and here we are in a
Yeah.
pumpkin. The wheels fell off. Now we gotta get it to where now the wheels aren't falling off, and that's, I think, is the next step for Lanning. And for me, it's a lot of coaches have their own personal odyssey when it comes to winning that national championship, especially that first one. Uh, I can't really say Saban at Bama is his first one because he won one at LSU and he was doing great at LSU. It took him a minute to get it. Just like it took Harbaugh a minute to get his, it took Kirby a minute to get his. It's some of these coaches who have to go through finding they have a particular issue. Every season there's a particular issue that they build and they fix, and then it's layering for them to finally reach that pinnacle. And so Lanning going into his fifth year, I mean, we've exited the playoffs pretty ugly. We've had a pretty dominant regular season for the last few years, but now that next step for him and the staff is to be able to get over that hump in the playoffs, get to the national championship, win the national championship, and also be able to compete and be dominant at that level. And when I say compete and be dominant from the teams that Lanning's been around, I'm looking for Oregon to go to a horseshoe or go to a big house or go to a whiteout and not just win in overtime and not just win by three. It's win by 2 or 3 touchdowns. Show up and dominate. Like you just show up. It's like when you see Game of Thrones and you watch the red wedding and it's just a slaughter. Like that's the type of mentality I'm looking to see Oregon come out with eventually because they've recruited and you've developed to that point.
Well, to do
You
that, you got to
get
keep your foot on the gas, right? And
oh, definitely,
one of the things
definitely.
Oregon has been criticized for over the years is taking their foot off the gas at a certain point. And um, I'm one of those old school football fans who looks back to coaches like Joe Paterno who would never take their foot off the gas, right? And Penn
Yeah,
State back then would just
yeah.
roll it up on you. And I feel like that's what you have to do to dominate these teams, to stay on top of the poll, to get the seeding that you want and make a real run.
Yeah. I mean, you also have to think about it as well as a lot of these schools in the NIL era, or you have these players, you will lose one game and still make the playoff. And so, in the sense of, okay, now instead of just playing 15 and 16 games, now we're playing 17 and 18 games. And would I rather save my player by having them sit out one game and lose that one and still be in position to make the playoff? And then here we are with a fresh player with fresh legs later in the year. Like some of those
True.
schools are going to think that. And then you also have the schools where the team doesn't make the playoffs and the players just sits out the bowl game.
Well, are we opening the season with a Heisman run? We have. Do we have
Honestly,
a name
I'm,
on the billboard? Is it coming? Uh,
honestly, right now, I don't even know who your front runner would be for the Heisman because everything is just so spread out. It's a lot of there isn't a dominant, just overly dominant team like Bama was in the 2010s and Clemson was. You have the potential of Georgia, Ohio State. You have the potential of Oregon. You have the potential of Indiana now because they've kicked the front door in and said, "Hey, we're going to just show up and do what we want." So there's teams that can go get it. Miami. There's teams, that can knock on the door and say, "Hey, I got the key to win it." But do you have the key to kick the door down and just stay there? It's about staying power to create that dynasty because we watched the Bama dynasty, we watched the Clemson dynasty, we watched the USC dynasty. We've seen the dynasty from the 2000s, the 2010s. We haven't seen really a dynasty right here in the 2020s. Georgia's
it's
close
time.
because
It's time for a Duck dynasty.
I'm down for a Duck dynasty. I mean, Lanning and staff, there. This was my whole focal point for getting Lanning was Oregon has had offensive minded coaches. And they've had some great defensive coordinators, but you haven't just had a defensive minded guy that says, "Look, I'm just going to stop you from scoring." Period. Period. If I can hold Caleb Williams to 27 points and put up 40 plus points on USC, I've done my job. I'm not letting you get 30 points. I'm keeping you below 30 and I'm putting up 40 on a Heisman Trophy winner and an offensive minded guru. Lincoln Riley is going to be able to move the ball some way, shape, form, or fashion. His bag of play calling is deep. But when it comes to his defense, his team takes his personality and he can bully the lesser teams. But when he goes up against a big bully squad like an Alabama and LSU in the playoffs, like we've seen, his team is not able to manage because they get pushed around. And we saw that with USC when they went to Illinois last year and Brent Bielema pushed them around. You get a guy like Lanning who knows that, hey, if I know you can't push me around in these trenches on both sides of the ball, I'm going to be able to dominate you. And I got to get the guys behind my trenches to be able to stop you from scoring, going for a bigger play. Or, hey, I want to throw the ball deep. Give me an Evan Stewart and let's chuck it 50 yards. Give me a Dante Moore. We'll throw it to Decorian Moore, 50 yards. So, it's just about the approach. How do they want to control
I,
the tempo?
I like our chances. I like our lineup. I'm definitely keeping a close eye on this situation that's, just been developing. The possibility that, over 1,100 players who are technically in the NFL right now could be attempting to return for remaining eligibility just within the next week and, or 2 weeks, which is kind of crazy. I don't agree with it at all, but it looks like it's happening. And
I
that's
mean,
going to change some rosters.
yeah, definitely. But my thing is this also is we're looking at 1,100 possible players. I mean, we've seen it in basketball for the last couple of years where kids have went and played semi-pro NBA and came back to college. It doesn't always pan out. You're not going to just have 1,100 impact players. You're going to have a handful of those guys that are going to go somewhere and be able to make an impact. They took advantage of the opportunity that was afforded to them by the adults. What I've been saying for years, the adults have been failing the youth. And some of these decisions from older adults who are in power that are affecting college kids and kids in high school's ability to get recruited because of these rules that you're allowing extra years. So you're allowing a 5th or 6th-year senior to come back, which is making a kid who's ready to commit to a school. And that school is going to tell that kid, well, now we're going to gray shirt you, go to this community college for a year while we let this kid come back because they let him come back from a ruling and he's not going to make it in the NFL. So we're going to try a year out with him. That's like
The
somebody
difference
taking
with the NFL players returning, of course, is that all of those guys have proven their ability to accelerate to the next level of speed, right? That they're able to work at NFL speed. And bringing that speed, we know that speed kills. We know that speed is a major factor in both, proficient defense as well as, offense. So on both sides of the ball, if these guys really do suddenly come back now, Marcus Freeman spoke up and said Notre Dame's roster is closed. It's too late. These guys that come back, that they're not going to make room. I don't know. We'll see if that's true or not. But a lot of coaches haven't spoken up. Some may be salivating at the, possibility of bringing in a pro crop.
It's funny you just mentioned Marcus Freeman because it was a guy that was from Notre Dame that just committed to LSU that just came back from that same. He just came back and transferred to
Yes,
LSU.
yes,
So I
that
mean,
is correct.
so you got Marcus Freeman on one side, and who on the other side? Our friend Lane
Lane
Kiffin.
Kiffin. Oh well.
But I mean, the way when you say speed, I'm not looking at it from a standpoint because all those guys aren't going to be 4.4, 4.5 type speed. It's the processing speed in which they're processing what's happening in front of their eyes because it's 90% mental, 10% physical. And your mental processing is going to be sped up because you've seen it happen in NFL speed. Of course. Yes, you'll have that mental step, but sometimes even that mental step, you may not be able to keep up with somebody who's physically gifted, like like Tony at Miami, or Evan Stewart, or the Corian Moore. Yeah, they're at some spots they'll be able to make that. Okay, I've seen this before. Okay, I know this. It's going to be a spot where a coach throws something at them. Oh, whoops. It's going to happen. Now,
This is
some
true. I
coaches,
fear 1,100 honey badgers.
yeah. Now, it now also is going to also depend on who goes where, because you can have players go to all these big time schools and go right into a situation that you would have thought would have been perfect for them, and it turns out it wasn't. We just have to see how it plays out. Now, if you got some dude who comes back and becomes Mr. Heisman All-American, okay, first of all, bro, you was in the NFL and you didn't make it in the NFL, but you came back here and did this in college. I got questions. I need him tested for drugs, for peds, for everything. Because you didn't make it in the NFL, but you back here and just dominated college like this. Yeah, I got questions. Now, I might have one or two that might be All-American caliber. That's cool. But you just came back and did this? Yeah, no, I got questions. So, I mean, it's again, we got to see how it plays out. I don't say that it's going to be 1,100 people that are going to come back and be impactful players. You might have 100 dudes come back and be impactful players. You might have 5 come back and be impactful. You might have a Castellanos. They talk about the quarterback that was at Florida State might go to Texas Tech. Do you know how I would pay Amazon to do a TV show about Texas Tech if they took him at quarterback? Because they're going to melt down. You went from Sorsby to Castellanos in one offseason? And this dude that was going to be the starter sat there and watched it happen in front of him twice. If he doesn't leave, I don't know what's going to make my man leave, first of all. And I don't know what the heck Texas Tech going to do, because we know he can't really throw the ball. And the quarterback they had last year was better than what he's going to give him.
Well, looking at the Oregon quarterback situation, obviously we got Dante fairly well entrenched in the one spot. Who's our number 2?
Honestly, I'm not even concerned about a number 2 right now. You have guys who can execute the offense, and the team believes in them. You have multiple
Is it
guys.
Junior? Is it Achilles? Is it Achilles Junior?
I mean, everybody would love to say that. The kids, first of all, he's 6'6", 245, and Dante is calling him Cam Newton. I mean, and when he says Cam Newton, I got Cam Newton on my feed practicing with the University of Missouri, and I'm like, wait a minute. He
Cam
got
Newton's
another
gonna
year of
come back and-
eligibility?
Cam
like
Newton's
wait a
going to come
minute.
back and play in
what?
college.
Yeah,
I'm just
Cam
kidding.
Newton is he's got a kid at Missouri that he
I
coached,
know.
and then he knows some of the staff from when the staff was at Auburn with him. But but honestly, it's whoever the coaches trust. Like, my thing is for us to be able to win a national championship, we've got to completely trust their staff, and we have. Yes, we're Duck fans. Yes, we've been heartbroken. Yes, this staff has left us heartbroken as well. But this staff is also trying to do what they can do to get us to the next level, because Lanning's been around the national championship program multiple times and he knows what it takes. And for me, when people are like, we're going to let Nazir White play linebacker, hey, first of all, this move's not happening without Lanning's knowledge. If they say he can play middle linebacker, which I'm sure he's going to be a heat-seeking missile, let him play. They believe in the situation and situational awareness that he can play it. He's got a
Lanning has also broken all of our superstitions too that we've all had going into Pullman. He's broken literally every single superstition that we've ever had. So what's the next tick on the box? A natty.
It's literally his. We are literally watching Lanning's Odyssey.
Yeah. So
we've been trying to get. Well, I can't say we've been trying to get, but we've been needing consistent linebacker play. And honestly, on the defensive side of the ball, we've got the secondary. Mm-hmm. We've needed an elite secondary to be able to, hang with the best of them. We've got the defensive line and edges. We need that linebacker play to be able to play the run and the pass consistently, and not our defense get pushed and gashed for 7, 8 yards, 10, 15, 25, 35, 40 yards.
I would really like to see pass coverage nailed in the coffin, because I think that's our roller coaster in defensively is our pass coverage always.
Yeah. and that's a part of that odyssey for Lanning is we've got the secondary, we've got the D line. Now we've got to get that linebacker area to where we can maintain the middle of the field. We can be able to get to the quarterback, stop the run. We can drop back in coverage and pick it off if the quarterback makes a terrible throw.
Yeah.
And that's going to be that style defense that's going to help your offense to be able to put us in position to do what? Score touchdowns. Hey, we might even get some special team big plays, a punt return for a touchdown, kickoff return for a touchdown, interceptions for touchdowns, fumbles for touchdowns. That's going to help you do what? Win a national championship.
Yeah. I think we just get the yips, dude, when we get into that big old spotlight. And I was talking to Dale about it last week or this week. I don't know. Time is no
mystery sometimes.
Yeah. But like, it's the more coverage I feel like we get on a game or something, it's like the more that we go into it and we win. But like then like I don't know. It's just like, I mean, watching Indiana, I was in Mercedes. I'm never going to Mercedes-Benz Stadium to watch a game ever again. Ever. I was there for Georgia and I was there for Indiana. I'm never going ever again. I've banned myself from that stadium. But there was no reason for us to get our asses kicked aside from like, it just was, I don't know, man. Like I just don't know. So it's like we immediately, every single player gets the yips, and like it's I can't even describe it.
I think we need to mark off Atlanta and Dallas for Oregon Duck games, because
correct.
Dallas and Atlanta have treated us well, but the games have not so much. So don't play any more Duck games in Dallas or Atlanta. Okay, take that off the map.
The Indiana fans were great. And like after the pick six in the first 3 seconds, I was like, all right, who? Like I was like, all right, I'll be an Indiana fan because we're gonna go in and they're gonna beat Miami. But like it was just so crazy to just watch. And Dale and I talked about this, them be in quicksand the entire time, and they just could not get out of the quicksand. They just pulled themselves down deeper and deeper, and there was no getting out. Like the worst possible things happened at the worst possible moments. Instead of like recovering, it was crazy. It was so crazy to watch them. They were a completely different team than they were in Miami, because Emma and I drove down to Miami and watched them play Texas Tech, and the game was like it just was a completely different atmosphere even. So it was wild.
There definitely is a different confidence from one opponent to the next, and hopefully now it'll be consistent with everybody. How many of you think we're going to the Natty? How many of you think we're going to get to that game?
I believe this is the year we get to the Natty.
Okay.
I just want to beat Boise State first.
Yeah, I mean the goal. Yeah, the goal is to go.
Truthfully, I have to see the product on the field before I say anything, because I actually think that game is going to be a little sloppier than most people are going to want it to be. But that's fine.
Have any of you already booked your hotel reservation in Las Vegas?
No,
certainly not.
My uncle's a Raiders season ticket holder though, so sometimes he gets like first hand like ticket offers for like games that happen there. So he already know, like he's already got a bug in my ear about it. But I will be the first to admit. Also, I would like another kicker. By the way, do we have like, so maybe Southie can come back for like an 8th year?
But we got this Australian.
We do. Okay, sweet, awesome.
We got this 28-year-old Australian who's transferred in from Nevada, Reno, who did the pro kick program out there in Australia. He's awesome. You'll see him as our starting punter, I believe. So you're going to see some real rugby leg show up.
Yeah. I just don't want to throw up. I just don't want to throw up every time we have to go for a field goal again. Sappington had me the calmest I've ever been when it comes to like situations like that.
I mean, so I made my hotel reservation already. I've got a reservation locked in Vegas.
You got some big cojones.
My aunt lives in Vegas. My aunt lives in Vegas, so I don't have to worry about that.
I'm going to be there. The question is, at what point win-loss do you commit and make a leap for tickets and say, I'm going?
If we win at the Horseshoe and we beat Michigan the week after, I say that's when you can go ahead and get the tickets.
Because I mean, I don't want to pay 10,000 a ticket, sometime in the playoffs, right? Like these tickets are going to go high, right? This is in Vegas. It's in our backyard. Every Duck is going to be able to make it, and it's strangely every time Oregon goes, into a big game, ticket prices tend to go really high, right? And that's going to happen this year as well. Playoffs in the past years have shown. Some pretty significant costs. Last year was tough. A lot of fans talked about how it was difficult to crisscross the country and make those trips. So, this isn't going to get
It was
any
easy
better.
for me. I drove down to Miami and drove up to Atlanta, but I'm one of all 5 Duck fans, I think, on the East Coast. So
I'm one of the other 5.
you're one. Okay.
So we have 2 out of 5, so we're just 3 off.
2/5. We got 2/5 of the East Coast Duck.
Yeah, we're almost there. Almost there.
Oh man, that's a good one. But I say we went at the Horseshoe and then beat Michigan at home. You can go ahead and get those tickets, man. I think that's an indicator right there. Especially if we have not lost a game up to that point. Yeah, that's an indicator for me.
Yeah.
Oh man, are we in Michigan or is that at home?
That's in Eugene. Yeah, it's the week. It's literally we go to the Horseshoe and then the next week we get Michigan at home.
Oh, okay.
That 4-game stretch is pretty nuts.
Yeah,
that's rough.
At Ohio State, Michigan, at Michigan State on a Friday night, and then Washington.
Oh, jeez.
I'm looking forward to rattling Bryce Underwood at Autzen with the noise.
Yeah, we'll see if he takes that step this year. I actually am kind of high on this Michigan team. I think they're going to be better than most. I'm really just high on Savion Hyder just because I'm friends with his cousins, and he went to school like about an hour from me. So I'm pulling for him big time. I think that kid's going to be really good. But, I mean, we'll see if Bryce Underwood takes that step. If not, he can start for Oregon in 2 years.
I think Michigan's going to be better than a lot of people expected because Whittingham is a physical guy. Michigan's already set up to be a physical team.
Well, they have a good team. They just had a gooner coach.
I mean, that literally. So you
terrible.
You literally just switch up some of the offensive philosophies. That's literally what you're doing. But the fact is, Whittingham has had quarterbacks like Underwood before, and a lot of those quarterbacks were not as talented as Underwood. So you're going to have a guy as talented as Underwood, who is young as Underwood, with that running back, that freshman running back you just mentioned, and then they've already had running backs there that have been recruited to be elite running backs.
I mean, I think they have a good
This is Utah
team.
Whittingham, right? Like Utah Whittingham.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gosh. Okay.
I mean,
exactly.
I forgot.
Exactly.
Consider the talent.
She knows exactly what it is. He's going from Utah, which he's got some guys there that were dogs and developed that squad, and then you're giving him that amount of talent.
Yeah, and a Michigan okay.
In the Big Ten. So he's gonna they're bragging on him about how he's handling Ohio State, but they don't understand how this man has went into games in the Pac-12 and smacked us in Austin, beat us in Rice Eccles. He's gave USC fits for when Lincoln Riley first got there. He's gave UW fits. He's gave all these schools fits at Utah.
Yeah. I mean, he brought Utah up to the level that Utah was. So
he beat Nick Saban at Bama. So I mean, people are acting like Whittingham hasn't dealt with elite coaches and elite programs before. This dude has handled them year in and year out. So you're giving him this amount of talent. They're going to be better than a lot of people expect. That Oklahoma game is in the big house.
Yeah.
Mateer,
that's going to be a good one.
I'm not as high on Oklahoma as most people are.
All I have to say is both Mateer and Underwood have to be better passers. And their offensive coordinators have to put them in position to be better passers.
Well, both of them have to learn how to throw a pass without leaving the ground and jumping like a goofball.
I don't know. That was a one video from practice, and there's no telling what the play call was.
I agree. I just he's going to try that in a game, and he's going to get rocked.
He's going to get demolished, dude.
Yeah, he's going to get rocked.
He's got the escapability. It's just they have to work with him on his decision making and his reads. You know, he did what he did last year. Oklahoma was in games and won some games, and they made the playoffs. This year, you have to be better in the pocket. You have to be a better passer, even when you leave the pocket. Get rid of the ball. Don't just do anything stupid.
So even
Be
with
smart.
Sharon Moore as the head coach, they had a top 15 class last year. It's 12th overall according to 24/7. And then in 2025, they had the number 8 class, which included Bryce Underwood, Andrew Babalova, Ty Haywood, a ton of top 100 players.
Michigan
So,
never fell off
the talent is there. And if
Sharon Moore
anybody
just didn't know what to do with anybody.
Yeah, the talent is there, and if anybody's going to be able to get something out of that talent, it's going to be Kyle Whittingham. The guy is a very proven head coach, and I think he just kind of fits that Michigan man mold.
Yeah,
whatever that may be.
And
I forgot that he went there, and that's such a good fit for him. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, honestly, they rebounded. They rebounded better than pretty much any team could this offseason.
Yeah.
And that even kill approach, like to the Ohio State Michigan game, like Ohio State fans are making fun of it, and the Michigan fans are facing the palms. And I'm like, fam, you got to look at it from how he's taking it. He's treating every day like you going to work. You go to work. You don't take a day off. We not finna just get up for this game against. So I say we got to get up for every game and win every game if we want to be elite.
Well, people seem to be dogging on Michigan for their comments about the game.
Yeah.
But not a lot of people seem to be talking about Ohio State moving senior day to the first home game of the season. And I feel like that's equally as kind of that's interesting. People don't really seem to be talking about that.
That's
weird. I think no matter what, obviously, things are going to be said on both sides, but we all know when we get to that rivalry week, it's still Michigan and Ohio State. Like they hate each other's guts. I think whatever
that rivalry is potent, dude. It's crazy.
It's the pageantry.
What they say. It doesn't mean anything. Once they line up, like it's still going to be Michigan and Ohio State.
Yeah, it's the pageantry. I mean, that's why we love college sports. For me, I love college sports way more than I love pro. Like I'll watch pro sports, but I'm more enthralled in college sports because it's a pageantry. It means a lot more to the fan bases because a lot of these people went to the school, played the sport, or involved in it some kind of way. So it means a lot more. Yeah, I go pay $100 and have a seat in AT&T Stadium, but I didn't play for a Cowboy. I don't have a family member that was a Cowboy. Now I know somebody who family member was one of the famous Cowboys, but at the same time, I'm not enthralled in it because it's not my family member. But for me as a Duck fan, to meet Duck fans and to share these experiences with Duck fans, I'm enthralled in it, and to meet some of the former players that I've watched play, that's a lot. That means a lot more. So then I grew up in Michigan, so I lived the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry. So I just love to watch the game because it's usually a good game and there's going to be some heat in there somewhere.
That's a good question. Does Kyle embrace
I loved my last trip
I think he does.
to East Lansing. So when we make our trip back to East Lansing, I might go again. Last time I went, I had the opportunity to meet and talk with Tom Izzo and Draymond Green and, a whole host of people. Michigan State has an amazing trophy room. If you've ever been inside their athletic department building.
My neighbor is a Michigan State fan, and I think we're talking about possibly going up there because she's not really a big sport. I've gotten her into sports more than anything else because she watches it because she hears me through the wall. But she wanted to. I know I always have to put a neighborhood warning out. Hey guys, the Ducks are playing today, or hey guys, it's the World Series. She wants to take me up there, so I'm kind of really excited. Actually, I don't know if it's going to pan out this year, but I would really like to go up there because
it's a pretty campus.
Yeah.
Michigan State. Yeah, I had the opportunity when I was a kid. My hometown high school played in the state championship, and we went to the Breslin Center to watch them play. Michigan State is a unique place. Izzo is a legend. And I had a little brother who played baseball at Michigan State. So I'm a little bit closer to Michigan State than I am to Michigan when it comes, to a little bit more aspect of, a homeschool. But living 8 miles from Notre Dame, I still got to go with the Irish. But yeah, no, it's a dope place. It's got its history. You know, uh, for the last few weeks, I've been seeing the famous Little Giants play where they faked the field goal against Notre Dame, and uh, I grew up watching T.J. Duckett play football and running track and baseball. The dude would hit a home run in baseball, then go run the 100-meter dash, then go back to playing baseball, like all at the same time. Like we had some of those type of athletes up there. Uh, but yeah, I say if you can go enjoy it. It's different in East Lansing.
So while
The
we're on
Midwest
the
is a
topic,
fun place overall, right? And now
Oh
that
yeah,
we're in the Big Ten, we get the Midwest experience week in and week out. This year's Big Ten is scary. It really is the best conference, top to bottom. I think it's better than the SEC, top to bottom. Everybody loves to talk about the top 3 or 4 teams, but you look below that, and it's just loaded with dark horses, and you have to think it's loaded with talent. Do you ever really want to underestimate Wisconsin or an Iowa? And no one's saying anything about Penn State right now. Who knows, right? But just like Michigan's loaded with talent and has had a bunch of recruiting classes in the past, and a bunch of people sitting that can be, maybe they can gel, maybe they can come together under a new coach. This could happen anywhere in the conference.
yeah. The thing with the Big Ten is you have a guy like Ferentz who's been around for so long, and he has his ups and downs. And then there's a moment where it's like, okay, I was consistently a thorn in everybody's side. And then it's a moment where they're like, okay, this is not the Iowa we expected because they're not even over 500. Then you get the Wisconsin. Wisconsin's been able to do what they've done for years since Alvarez because they've always had an elite running game and their defense has always been somewhat stout. Now, I mean, they've got to find an identity, and they're one more bad season away from firing their head coach and looking for another one, which again
Sure,
could
but
change.
do we think? Look, is Northwestern going to roll over every game this year? Now with Chip Kelly and a dynamic offense, do we just expect Northwestern to be the Northwestern of old and to roll
Oh no,
over for everybody?
no,
No,
they
and
no.
also
that,
just
Suddenly they're
received a
dangerous.
huge donation as well, so they will be probably very active in the NIL game this coming season.
And they've got a
well,
$450 million stadium coming, right? And so,
you
A lot of Big Ten teams are making a lot of moves.
but you also
yeah.
It's a lot of underrated teams coming into this season, in my opinion.
well, one when you go and add a USC, a UCLA, a Oregon, and a Washington to your conference, in the last 2 years, one of those teams have been in the running for your conference championship, and they just got there. And they've been in the top 10 for the last 2 years, and they just got there. It's going to make some of those teams who've been there for some years feel a type of way. One. Two,
Yeah.
the situation with Northwestern is, yeah, they've got the donation, yeah, they got the stadium, yeah, you've got Chip Kelly, but the one thing that people fail to realize, if Northwestern, their grade restrictions are a lot higher than Notre Dame's.
Yeah, Northwestern is like a
Like, it's
crazy
harder to
institution.
get. It's
Yeah.
really harder to get into Northwestern academically than it is to get into Notre Dame.
It is the Stanford of the Big Ten for sure.
Don't-
Right?
Exactly.
Don't give any of the people that say Oregon's easy to get into low hanging fruit though. Okay.
Yeah, no,
This
but
is true.
so
Don't
so
give them
when
any
you
low
look,
hanging fruit.
and
We're
so then
charitable. We're
and you
charitable.
also got to look at when you go to Northwestern, you're right on Lake Michigan. So do you want to deal with those Lake Michigan winters? Because I got a sister who lives in Chicago,
Yeah.
and I've lived on the other side of Lake Michigan for most of my life. So do I want to go stay up here and go to a school like this and play football here? Yeah, I got Chip Kelly that could help some influence. You're going to get some guys that's going to go to Northwestern,
Yeah.
just like you're going to get some guys that are going to go to Maryland. Rutgers is going to get it eventually. I don't know if Shiano's going to be there, but they're trying to turn theirs around too. For some of those who play college football like the video game, when you're a good coach and you go to a school at a conference and you make your team better, you eventually are going to make the other teams have to raise their standards to compete because the teams want to compete and don't want to get left behind now.
I used to say that about Eugene, though. Like, nobody wants to travel to Eugene because the airport's small and it's in the middle of nowhere. And I mean, it's not really in the middle of nowhere. It's not Corvallis, but you know what I'm saying? Like so I used to say that about Eugene. It was hard to recruit there, but then now it's not really, if you think about it. So, I mean, maybe some people will bypass a Chicago winter. Who knows?
and this is another thing too. And the benefit for Northwestern is you have Chicago in the background.
Yeah.
Like you have one of the most dynamic cities in the world
and
in the
Chicago
back.
is awesome. So
Yeah. So
visibility matters, right? So one of the advantages to being in Chicago, of course, is that you have easy access for NFL scouts, and that matters. That's something that I learned the first time I made the trip out to Colorado, actually out to Boulder, and I was speaking with their athletic director in the press box, and he was showing me all the rows of seats, and they had a whole dedicated section for NFL scouts. And I just kind of looked at that because we didn't have that in Eugene at the time, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. He said, well, we're in Denver, so it's really
the Broncos are
easy.
right there.
We got the Broncos, who are fixed in the house, and it's really easy for other scouts to fly in and fly out.
Yeah.
I thought about it. I'm like, Eugene is a little bit out of the way. Sure.
Yeah, well,
okay.
granted, Boulder is kind of, in essence, like, I mean, Eugene has an airport, but like then you fly into Portland, which is an easier access airport, I guess. But so like Portland to Eugene is kind of the same. It's not the same distance. It's like an hour from Boulder to the airport, I think, in Denver. But like Boulder is still a nicer area. Maybe even I feel like I'm
the
talking
112 miles from PDX to Autzen is a grueling drive. I mean, it's just
I'll make that drive every time and not complain.
Well, and they've been working on Eugene's airport also, so that's a
so Stro, you're newer to this. Back in the day, there was a paper plant on the route, just out a little ways outside of Eugene, on the way up the road, and in order
back in the day, but like when?
Oh, we're talking back in the 90s.
Okay, yeah. My first time in Eugene was like 2002.
Yeah, you had to go through this really stinky area just to get there. I've
driving up to Dallas.
She's taking those shots. Hey.
Oh boy!
Hey, I'll never forget when Brenson and I were driving from Portland to Eugene. I was like, "Man, something stinks," and Brenson was like, "Yeah, Corvallis is right over there."
Well, it's an agricultural school too, so they have to have all of that agricultural like stuff. So and you know what? They accepted my college application also and gave me a bigger scholarship than Oregon, and I still picked Oregon. So.
Well, it's a great vet school, but don't be surprised if Oregon State starts to turn around and shows up. They've got a lot of great young talent.
I expect it.
They got solid coaching staff.
We took one of their players too. It was Blue Dantzler.
They've taken a few of ours over the years too.
A couple of ours. So.
Honestly, I think that the way that the parity is played out with NIL is the game is widespread. And going back to what Megan was saying, it's college towns. You're not going to have a college town that's not going to have businesses, and the businesses aren't going to be able to are going to flourish because you have college students who need food, they need entertainment, they need snacks, groceries. Some of them don't want to cook, so they're going to order out. I went to school in Manchester, Indiana, had one stoplight or two stoplights. We
don't forget that second one.
Yeah. We had a Pizza Hut. We had a Hardee's, we had a grocery store, we had multiple liquor stores. So that's in a small town of maybe 2,000 people.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in Northern California, and it was like a riot when we got a third stoplight. Let me tell you. Oh my God!
So,
and then Burger King got in a fight with Taco Bell and all this.
How did Burger King fight Taco Bell?
Well, because Burger King was like the initial, fast food restaurant of our small town, and then Taco Bell wanted to put in a Taco Bell KFC mix across the street, and everybody was like, "No!" And
it was
now
a chicken.
Well, now it's a Starbucks. So.
It
Well,
was a
hey,
chicken spot.
now Burger
Burger
King's got
King is
chicken
still there.
fries,
Yeah.
and Taco
Right.
Bell has regular French fries.
And Burger
It's
King is
all
still there,
turning.
and now the
Taco Bell has chicken nuggets.
They did. Taco
Do
Bell
they?
did. They were selling chicken
That's
too.
right.
No way.
Yes.
Well,
No
on the
way.
top,
Let-
we talked
look,
about like college
so
towns.
little
That's
known
like
story. A lot of people don't know this. The Taco Bell in Eugene, and I don't know how much more widespread this was, but once upon a time, this is in the late '90s. The Taco Bells in Eugene rolled out a new product. They rolled out tater tots, but they called them Mexi Nuggets, and
That's great.
you know, they didn't last on the menu very long, and they didn't exist on any other Taco Bell menu. We would go and ask for them in different places, and people would look at us like, "What are you, racist? Like, what are you talking about?" And, but in Eugene, you could roll into the drive-thru and you could ask for Mexi Nuggets, and you would get a pack of tater tots.
That's crazy.
Wow.
I miss
Yeah.
Burrito Boy.
Wow.
Oh, Burrito Boy, is it
I
gone?
miss Burrito Boy. No, I just miss
It's
it.
still
Because
there.
I had,
Okay.
yeah, it's still
it
there.
better be there when I'm
No.
there in October.
Yeah,
No,
right.
I will say
Better
Burrito
be
Boy. Shout out to Burrito Boy because we ate there like what 2 or 3 times when we went
Bro,
there.
we like lived off of it.
Yeah.
24
I lived
hours a
in,
day.
I lived
Yes.
in Barnhart, Rip Barnhart, but I lived in Barnhart, and there was a Burrito Boy right there, and that was dangerous, man. My mom was like, "You can't keep dipping into your. You need a job." I was like, "I'm
Burrito
sorry,
Boy,
it's
it's worth it.
Burrito Boy, man."
Oh, the Gotcha Burger. That was a spot I didn't try the
Yeah,
first time I went.
Gotcha Burger was really good. That's a really good secret spot
Yeah.
in Eugene. That's a good place. When we went, there was guys from the lacrosse team there. We saw it. Yeah, they were good burgers. I'm not gonna lie.
Don't tell the mic.
Well, keep your fingers crossed. There may be a new place coming to Eugene soon, yet unnamed, and I can't say a lot more than that. But there is a new spot that is being negotiated currently by some nationally well-known and powerful forces that have a lot of experience in building really good college restaurant and bar spots. So I'm very hopeful. Eugene definitely needs more, especially within walking distance of campus and within the area that the students can be found in.
It's a Buc-ee's.
First
First Buc-ee's on the West Coast, Eugene, Oregon.
I was
Oh,
gonna say
boy.
In and Out. Or Chick-fil-A.
Ooh, In and Out. Listen, don't do that to me. I'm over here on the East Coast, and I can't get In and Out.
No, we
It's
don't
either
have
gonna be an
anything
In and
like
Out
that.
or it's gonna be In and Out or a Chick-fil-A.
Well, Bo had to get them to put Chick-fil-A over there, didn't he?
He
was
had
like
to
a
bring
big
the
part
truck
of it.
down that
Yeah.
one year.
Oh man, it's gonna be an In and Out, isn't it?
That would be pretty cool.
That'd be dope.
Um,
I'd say.
more on this
Yeah, see?
in the near future. Dale will get the scoop when it's time. I will definitely let him be the first to break the news and bring it out. Well, we're what? Are we inside 2 weeks? Are we at 2 weeks? How long is it
2
till the
weeks.
first?
2
one?
weeks
14
exactly.
days.
2 weeks exactly.
We're at
14 days.
14
We will
days.
be watching College Game Day 2 weeks. Well, technically next week.
Next
but
week,
real College Game Day at a campus 2 weeks from today.
Yeah, next week they're in Ireland for the TCU North Carolina game.
Which honestly, there are some games next weekend that are definitely worth watching.
I mean, USC, I'm gonna be watching them for the next couple weeks. They got a game next week. That Hawaii Stanford game.
San Jose State, yeah. And
I'll be at Hawaii Stanford, and that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah,
And,
that quarterback
North
from
Carolina
Hawaii
State-
is nice.
North Carolina State and UVA should be really interesting too. I'm very interested to see how UVA does this year after their pretty surprising bounce back last season.
They
got
played
The
no-
Who's
They play this
got a lot of interesting
weekend.
recruits. Don't underestimate them. They spent some money. They went out, recruited hard. Look,
Yeah.
these days at this point, if you've got 30 to 50 million, you can put together a really nice roster. And there are a lot of teams that were able to get that kind of money. And you talked about parity earlier. It's scary. We're these preseason polls don't mean anything, right? For the most part. There are going to be a lot of dark horses that emerge, teams that have great records, and we're not even talking about what could be coming up from the bottom end of the top 25. No one's looking at Houston, right? They're in the poll. Why are they in the poll? Who did they get? What's going on over there? I don't know.
They got a five-star
What
quarterback.
about Hawaii? We barely mentioned Cal. Sure. Um, uh, Again, there's that Northwestern factor. Did they get anybody? Did they spend any money? Who else did that? I really don't know.
I also did
There
not know
was-
that Chip Kelly was there until someone posted a ridiculous picture of him in a hard hat, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Who is that? Who's that?"
Northwestern
No.
Northwestern got Chip Kelly, and they got Aiden Childs from Michigan State, who
Yeah,
was
they did get Aiden Child, which
Oh, wow.
I also
Okay.
forgot that he transferred. That didn't work
Yeah.
out. That dude hates Oregon.
Well, he left Oregon State
Dude
and then
hates
went to
Oregon.
Michigan State, following the head coach, and then he went to Northwestern with Chip Kelly. Now,
That's ironic though if he hates Oregon. If he's
Well,
like, oh.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
he's-
Chip Kelly.
Yeah,
if you-
no, that's also very true.
If you're
I
a
love Chip
quarterback and you want to, have a shot to even be at the next level, and you have an opportunity to play for Chip Kelly, you're going to go.
That's fair.
His offense is suited because his offense is going to be a balanced offense because he's going to run the ball. He's going to have play action passes off of it. He's going to have his bag full of tricks in there, and he's going to be able to put his quarterback in great situations. He's been doing that since Chip Kelly. I mean, since Dennis
Sure.
Dixon.
Just ask Dante, right?
Yeah. And people rag on Dante for that, but I mean, as a true freshman, bro, and when you talk to some players that play for Chip Kelly, they're going to tell you Chip Kelly's playbook is thick, not thin. It's thick, like thousands of plays. So when you're a true freshman quarterback and you're only learning a fraction of this offense, bro, you're gonna have some messed up reads. You're gonna have some miscues because you're at a certain percentage when the rest of the team is on a way different level as far as what they know.
It takes a good 4 to 5 years to fully install Chip Kelly's offense.
Exactly.
He is
It's
absolutely.
complex. Very complex.
He's an offensive master. What separates him from other OCs is that he has his own unique offensive philosophy and he can articulate it, and it's in the playbook with depth, right? And so, I have a lot of respect for Chip. I think he's actually matured quite well over the years. He's a pretty cool guy. You got to kind of like the New Englander style to get along with him. But having observed him many times now, I've actually learned quite a bit from him, and I've seen how he's changed. And I like what I see. I like what I see in Chip, and I definitely cheer for him when he's not playing my favorite team.
Of course.
When I was on Dale's show, he asked me who's the better coach, Dan Lanning or Chip Kelly, and I still have to kind of tip my cap to Chip just because of what he did here. I mean, in my opinion, the only way that anybody can really dethrone Chip as like the greatest coach in the history of Oregon, it would be to win a national championship. Just
Easily.
because Chip put us on the spot. Like, I mean, he got us to that national championship against Auburn, and things happened. That's probably the closest we've ever been to truly winning a national championship. We should have won that game. But no, I mean, I know that with how he left the program, things weren't great. He goes to Ohio State. I'm happy he got his national championship. It's unfortunate that he had to do what he did to us January 1st, 2025. But regardless of that, I'm happy he got his chip. And he's always going to be a legend here. Always. Right? That's never going to change. I feel bad for younger fans who didn't get to watch his Oregon teams because, man, that was just like
the Chip Kelly experience was
just some of the most fun college football you'll ever see.
Yeah.
And there was a hot tub in his office. Never forget.
That's
He's just a funny guy. He's a funny guy. posted about this on Twitter, and I'm so embarrassed about it because I have been making jokes about this for years. I genuinely thought he and Brian Kelly were related.
Bruh, that is still the funniest stuff ever.
For like 20 years, I've been making jokes, and no one told me.
I had to live the experience of both.
Finally, somebody said it to me, and I was like, "What?" They even kind of look
Bro-
alike.
Brothers from different mothers. There you go.
I'm gonna put it to you
That's what
like
I'm gonna
this:
call it.
if Chip Kelly would have been at Notre Dame might have beat Bama that year in the national championship. Brian
Yes,
Kelly,
yeah.
not so much. Chip Kelly, very much.
Ohio State and Ryan Day without Chip Kelly, I don't think they win that game. Right. I think that was Chip. Now Ohio State without Chip, is Ryan Day going to have the same offensive productivity with his new guy? I actually don't think so. We'll see, right?
This
But
is year 2,
I don't
right?
think so. Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to materialize. I think they're. Yeah, I hate to say something that like is disrespectful towards a coach, but because obviously he's a great coach, it's a good coach, sure, but I just don't think it's the same thing. Chip is a very very special person when it comes to offensive design and coordination, and he's a master. Uh, it's a privilege to get to learn under someone like that, to play for someone like that. It was very unfortunate that we had to go up against him.
Twice.
and
Yeah.
and we're going to see him this season, right, when Northwestern
Again,
comes to
yeah.
town. And obviously I expect we're going to get the win. I expect we're going to take care of business, and it'll be sad to see us do that to Chip and his boys, but we got to do what we got to do. That's the way it goes.
We did UCLA, so we got rid of that little
Yeah,
game.
that's true.
Yeah.
But Chip will find a way. I think he'll find a way to sneak one in there, just to remind everybody that hey, there is a dynamic play calling, and design thing going on here. One thing that I do think separates Chip from Dan at this point is I think Chip has learned some of the lessons and matured in some of the ways that Dan has yet to grow into. It's going to take time. That's not a slight toward Dan at all. Great coach, but
Dan is also very young. So
Yeah,
yes, as you get older, and I've seen this with Chip. When Chip came in, he had a stubbornness and a certain commitment to what he thought was the game plan and how he thought it should play out and go. And Dan still has that mentality. That's what I've seen, at least from the past. Maybe this year will be different. But I watched Chip mature through that and grow through that and get to the point where he is now, where he does things very differently. He is much quicker to adjust. And as Dale and I have spoken about this in the past, I've been able to observe Chip in his newer form. And one of the things that he loves to do now, that he does as a practice, before games, coaches circle up. The teams are going through their drills and their plays, and the coaches, they stand around on like the middle of the 35-yard line or so, and they're just observing. That part of the pregame, and just like most coaches, Chip used to do that as well. He doesn't do that now. It's really interesting. I saw this with UCLA. Chip, instead of standing around in the middle watching what his guys do, he lets his coordinators do that. Chip walks down the sideline and spends the pregame watching and observing the other team. And I was on the sideline at a game, and I walked down there and I said, "Hey, what are you doing down here?" And he said, "Taking notes." And I just thought, "Oh, okay." You don't always know what to say back to him, right? When he has a short response. And I thought about it. I said, "Dad, what a genius!" Like he's down here taking notes, observing the other team. He's kind of like just meandered his way down the sideline a bit, and he's gaining intelligence and sort of advanced scouting his opponent before the game. He trusts his assistant coaches to do what they've got to do to prep his own guys, right? Um, I'm looking for Dan to step out of the middle, to let his assistant coaches do his thing, and for Dan to walk down the sideline and start scouting his opponent, and then take it back to the locker room pre-game and say, "Hey guys, we're going to make a few changes here. This was our game plan. We're adjusting based on what I saw."
It feels like something that would be something Dan would do to begin with, honestly. But I agree. I would like to see him do that. That seems like something that he would do.
It does, right?
I don't
Considering
know.
the 12 men on the field against Ohio State, I mean, it feels like he's the kind of guy that is trying to think outside of the box. It's like, I mean, if we can get away with it, I don't see what the problem is. I mean,
I can see Dan pull up a hoodie, put his head down, walk down the sideline,
like
and
the
just kind of
emperor.
stand there for a while.
Hey, I mean, if you can get away with it. Now, I mean, every coach is different. I mean, we're talking about Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly is different, just like Mike Leach is different when it comes to their coaching philosophies and their personalities. What worked for Chip, Chip had to adjust, but Chip was a head coach before he got to Oregon as well. Lanning is a first-time head coach ever.
Yeah.
Like, so 5 years into your first time ever being a head coach, and you still trying to navigate, building your roster, trying to compete for a national championship because that expectation was already here before you even stepped in the door. And you're trying to also be able to have that competitive edge or to find that way to make sure that your team is always firing on all cylinders. Or hell, we need to find a way for us to come out and start hot every game. Not just games where we're outmatching the opponent, but games when we're either on the same playing field or when we're facing somebody that might actually have a little bit of a better roster than us. And it's going to be a couple teams like Miami, Ohio State. A couple of these rosters will be on the same playing field or maybe a step or two ahead of us.
I
But
feel like the AP poll kind of hit it on the head. I think Oregon and Ohio State are the two best teams in college football this year. I think it's 1A and 1B, truthfully.
I mean, they have two of the most experienced quarterbacks coming back with two of the most talented rosters,
and that's the biggest thing.
But when you look at
I don't think anybody should, kind of skip over Indiana, right?
I agree.
As well as they did last year, there's still a lot of talent there. There's a great coach. I'm sure they recruited well to fill the gaps they had. They had a ton of money. I don't think they missed
transfers. They had a lot of very good transfers.
The big question is the transfer quarterbacks. Like Hoover going to IU. Dude was at TCU. Dude is a gunslinger. At TCU, he was a gunslinger. Dude had over 7 interceptions his last 2 years at TCU. Compared to Mendoza, Mendoza's most interceptions he had was 6, and that was at Cal. So compared to Hoover, to Mendoza, two totally different type of quarterbacks. Now, how IU calls the game is going to really dictate. Can they call the game the same way they did for Mendoza with Hoover? I don't see them trying to. They have a good ability to run the ball. As long as you can run the ball and play action pass and then your drop back game isn't as bad, then you're going to be able to compete. It's just how well will he mesh with those receivers? How well will he mesh with the play calling? How will his reads? How will he handle his reads? And that's going to be the same for Miami with their quarterback. Like those two teams are the big questions because of their quarterbacks. Miami paid big bucks for their quarterback. The dude we know could ball out because he balled out at Duke. But now how is he going to handle playing in Miami? Because they could call the game for him like they did for the last quarterback. Or they might have to call it a little bit differently. Are they willing to? How is he going to fit into their base plays? Like all these things we have to take into account with that. Yeah, these guys were good at their last school. Won't always necessarily translate to them at these new schools. We've seen guys leave good situations and go to what they thought would be better, and it was terrible.
I do feel like the ACC is a little more clear, right? Other than, the dark horses, right? Which I think would be Cal and Virginia. You've got Clemson, who recruits well, has a good program, could be a factor, probably won't be in the end, but you never know. But Miami does seem to have their spot, well
Oh yeah,
entrenched. They seem to be pretty safe at the top of that conference. Miami, can they run the table through the regular season? I don't
they
see
need to. They need to.
they need to. I don't see why not. I
You
mean,
look
I
at the
don't really see.
schedule;
They
it's
have
so favorable.
they've never won the ACC.
The only games
Really?
that will be a problem at Clemson, Death Valley is a very hard place to play. Doesn't matter how good Clemson is, that is not an easy place to play. That's also kind of like a gut check game for Dabo Sweeney, in my opinion. Like if that's like they need to win that game to prove that Dabo can still succeed in
That's
today's college football. And then of
that's
course they play at Notre Dame on November 7th. That is so brutal that they're playing that late into the season with how things can turn out. Again, of course, with the ACC being as weak as we think it could be, it's certainly worse than the SEC and the Big Ten. Big 12, I'm not really crazy about. I'm not really big on a lot of Big 12 teams, so I think that's kind of up in the air. Big 12 is probably better than the ACC, but for that game to be November 7th is pretty considerable. That's huge.
If Miami picks up a loss there, if that's a one-loss situation, they still make the playoff.
For sure. The seeding will be the big thing.
the crazier part for me is SMU has played in more conference championship games than Miami has, and
It's pretty embarrassing.
SMU is the one team that y'all haven't mentioned in the ACC, and their quarterback's back, and their head coach has been there, and that team is quietly loading up.
I mean,
I
truthfully,
gotta
I
check
think
my schedule. I'll see them once this year, and I'll get a look at how they're doing again. Yeah, I definitely underrate SMU regularly. I admit it.
They find a way. The last 2 years, they first of all they joined SMU and Oregon in the same year, joined a new conference, and both made the playoffs. SMU has made it to the ACC championship at least once in the last couple of years. Their coach is one of the most underrated coaches because this dude is a Chip Kelly, Lincoln Riley esque offensive minded dude, but he understands the aspect of having both sides of the ball be elite in the trenches. And he's recruiting Dallas. He's getting kids from around here in high school. The quarterback is from South Oak Cliff. One of the schools, SMU under June Jones, they did not recruit as much. Hell, they didn't recruit south of 30. This man is embracing the DFW and he's getting kids that went elsewhere and came back. And he's turning heads. And SMU is not going to go anywhere. And that quarterback, I believe, if this is the year that they all put together, he could put it together and be a dark horse for the Heisman.
Interesting,
Did
and so that would
they
entail
have
SMU being a dark horse for the ACC itself.
I mean, I wouldn't say a dark horse because they competed for the ACC championship in the last 2 years, and they just joined the conference and they made the playoffs. I can't call them a dark horse. They're just a team that people just are sleeping on because the only time they mention SMU is because the current quarterback is finna get a building named after him before Eric Dickerson. And then you have the fact that it's SMU and they paid the money to join the ACC. Yeah, but they made the playoffs and they've actually competed for the conference championship before the favorite Clemson or the favorite Miami was even close to competing for it in the last couple of years. They beat Miami in Dallas last year. One of the losses Miami had on their way to the national championship came from SMU. And SMU went toe to toe with Miami. And they
How
will
quickly I
continue to go.
forgot.
And they will go toe to toe with Miami. They're gonna go toe to toe with Clemson because Lashley is coached at Miami before he came back to Dallas. That was one of his biggest reasons for joining the ACC because he knew that the SMU could compete in the ACC. He just had to get the home talent to stay home, and now he's got a lot of these 4 or 5 star kids actually taking a look at SMU. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do because he's building something here. They are buying into him because they're building new facilities at SMU for the football team. And you're competing in a decent conference. You got Clemson and Miami who've kept it afloat. Florida State every once in a while when they get the right coach or Norvell in his first year. So SMU, I can't say is a dark horse. It's just a team people are sleeping on because they've been there. They literally have been there. In the first 2 years of the ACC, they've been right there in the thick of things, and they've made noise. And people are just like, "Huh, it's SMU." It's not the SMU of old. Far from it. Far from it. Honestly, I don't even know why and how the Big 12 let SMU get to the ACC. If you
That
would
I
have
agree with for sure.
if you would have kept SMU in the Big 12, you talking about the SMU TCU rivalry every year, and you could potentially have that as a night game either in Dallas or Fort Worth because both stadiums are nice. Hell, you just renovated Gerald Ford Stadium here in Dallas for SMU. TCU Stadium is not bad. I've been in there. You got that potentially to be in prime time, and then you could have both teams be ranked. That would do wonders for the Big 12, not just having to bank off of Utah and BYU Holy War. Baylor's trying to get back right. I think that's a team that's going to be a sleeper if Legway can put it together as Baylor.
So we got the SMU factor. All these teams then show up and it's like that they could be in the playoffs. What about the American Conference? Nobody really mentions them ever, but like there's this conference out there, right? The AAC. The first thing that comes to mind is who's even in that conference. But
Tulane,
isn't that where
Memphis,
Tulane, right?
Memphis, yeah. I mean, and it's
And
those two have competed for the conference championship at least once or twice in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
It just all
We
depends.
lost a key participant.
Oh, Big Duck, BDE.
Anybody still have audio?
Yeah, I do. Oops.
Okay, cool. I do as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, where are you based? Where are you now? You're no longer in Eugene
Me?
or Northern California. Yeah.
Oh,
You're
I'm in
somewhere.
Orlando. I'm in Orlando.
You're in Orlando. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
I make trips out to Orlando every once in a while. Next time I come out that way, we'll have to plan and meet up as well. So now I'll have to do that in Dallas, and then we'll have to link up in Orlando.
Yeah. I have to get out to Dallas too, and I have to go to Waco because that's where my Dr. Pepper museum is.
There's a Dr. Pepper museum in Waco?
Really? That's in Waco?
Well, that's where, Waco is like the breeding ground of Dr. Pepper. Or no. Yeah, is it Waco? I'm pretty sure it's Waco.
Well, I know. Well, I got a family member who works for Dr. Pepper.
And that would be why it was the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship game. Now it all makes sense.
It makes sense. The Big 12 office is here in Irving off of 114.
I remember driving by Waco, a few times on the way actually to San Antonio when the Ducks were playing in the Alamo Bowl once upon a time, and when they were building their new stadium, I got to see it as it was, evolving right there next to the freeway.
Yeah, I am also my great times 7 something grandfather is John Denton, who Denton, Texas, in Denton County is named after. So I don't know how I've not really ever been to Texas aside from like the Dallas airport, and like I've been to El Paso like twice, in Houston once. So I need to like go to Texas.
You definitely need to make a Texas pilgrimage there.
Yeah.
Given it's a big place, there's a lot to see. It's definitely more than one trip.
Yeah, it's pretty large.
But it's a fun one. It's pretty cool to explore Texas, to fly into Dallas, get a car, drive down, go to Waco, get down to Austin. Obviously Houston's great as well. Getting all the way out to San Antonio is
I think I've been to San Antonio also, actually. That's the Riverwalk, right?
Yeah. You went to the Alamo game?
Yeah, so I've my ex-husband, his 2 previous employers, he's in construction, so he had to go to San Antonio for something, so I went with him.
Gotcha.
Yeah. They have In-N-Out
Well,
in San Antonio.
and Texas has Taco Casa, which I
Yes.
need to get back to
people love
because
Taco
it's
Casa. I
way better
mean,
than Taco Bell. I love
of
Taco
course,
Casa.
it's for me. It's good. It's just
And I don't know
it's a
why
little high
I
priced.
can't hear Stro at this point. The audio on Stro is not
Is my
present for
mic
me.
I can hear you.
Perhaps
okay? Yeah, no, Taco
I don't know
Casa
why I
is
lost him.
hit, man. But
Um,
they a little
but
Mm,
yeah,
like Taco Time. I like Taco
okay.
Time too.
Taco
Okay,
Time's great.
Yeah.
The crispy bean burrito is a fantastic, iconic item. Taco Casa is delicious. If you haven't had it, next when you do go to Texas, you got to check it out. Taco
All right.
Cabana is also really good. That's another Texas institution. Got to go there. You you know Whataburger is 50-50. People are half and half. If you're an In-N-Out person, you probably aren't into the Whataburger.
No.
You know,
They do have a Dr. Pepper
um,
shake, but
now I will say if you go to In
but
and
you
Out, In
know.
and Out gets you in and out quick. Whataburger is more
Well,
so they
guys,
make it fresh.
it's been great connecting with you all and being on with you. Stro, it's great to actually, you know, be here live with you. Finally, we got to do this in a parking lot somewhere. We got to do this in a stadium.
Yeah,
We got to do
definitely,
this in a
definitely.
bar before and after. So you know,
I'm down.
we're
I'm
gonna make it
down.
happen. This is the year. Um, and yeah, I need to make a trip to Orlando. I definitely need to come out and shoot a couple of Orlando City and Orlando Pride matches. I am a soccer fan as well, so you know.
There you go.
Um,
sorry.
Dale, how long do you want this to go today?
Do we not have his audio?
I can't hear him. Yeah,
I
I'm sitting on like,
Oh.
oh
and even he dropped off.
no,
No.
I can't hear you.
Are you muted?
Now I've got zero audio whatsoever. Okay.
I
Well,
got that.
maybe this is my call to
I can't hear
exit
you.
then
Let me
because I've
leave.
lost all audio. I can't hear any of you, but I love you all. You guys are great. I'm coming to Orlando. It's going to happen. I'm coming to Dallas. It's going to happen. We're all over the country. We're going to crisscross it. We're going
I
to fly
fix
as
it.
many miles this year as the Ducks are going to fly as they go back to back to back in Big Ten play. So, you know, go Ducks to everybody and have a great rest of the day and a great weekend.
Well, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you coming out. It was fun to do. We'll try it again, and maybe we can get 20 people and make it really great.
Perfect. Down to 1. All right. I'll see you later.
Have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bistro, our first ever live stream. It had some hitches and glitches, but I feel like it was a start.
Yes, yes, I love it. I love it. We got to do this more often.
Yeah, it'd be fun to do it, pregame, postgame, preview, review, stuff like that.
I'm down. I'm down. We can
Yeah.
definitely do pregame, postgame review, however you want to do it. You already know. Shoot me a DM and we'll work out the details from there.
Well, I appreciate you. I
Of
hope you have a
course.
fantastic weekend. And I can consider it a success today because we started from nothing and we're building a little energy.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. You got to get the train on the tracks and let it build up momentum. And this is how you start. We 2 weeks out from the beginning of the Oregon Ducks 2026 season. A lot of high expectations as it should be. The coaches have recruited and they've built the roster, and the guys have bought in. The fans are bought in. Phil Knight's bought in. The school's bought in. Eugene's bought in. So let's all systems go. Let's get this natty right.
I like what you said about get the train on the track, because I think the Ducks are doing everything right to
Yeah.
do that. I love what I saw in the under construction video, the leadership retreat, the coaches retreat, the way Dan Manning addressed the team on the first days of practice, the leadership that's developing in the organization, all the players up and down,
Yeah.
you know,
That
that
that's what Lanning, as I was stating earlier, he's been around championship programs at Bama, at Georgia. He's seen, the player-led teams. Those are the players that's holding each other accountable, because I got to be able to depend on you to do your job just like you depend on me to do my job, so we can compete and win this national championship. And if everybody's on the same page and going in the right direction, who's going to stop you?
when you combine the talent they have with the mindset they have and the way they apply their core principles each and every day, that is powerful.
Yeah, that as people say, when the fist is closed, it's better united, and you can do a lot of damage with this, more damage than you can do with this. So when everybody's like this, and you got to line up, and you got to hit somebody else in the mouth, it's time to do it. And we gonna keep going, and we not gonna cave, we not gonna fold, as people say. And that's the mentality the team and the coaching staff is taking into this year, especially after the way the last 2 years have ended for Oregon. You've got to get back up. People say you fall down 7 times, you get up six. You fall down 8 times, or you gotta still get back up. No matter how many times you get down, that you still gotta get back up one more time. And that's the way they're looking at it, is you gotta get back up one more time, and you can't, allow yourself to let this last time be the last time you get knocked down, because we can't quit. We gotta keep going. We got something that we have to accomplish.
Stroh, I don't want to see them mess around this year. In the Boise State game, in the Oklahoma State game, I want to see them unleash their standard and play with focus, play with determination, play with heart, and knock some people down.
That the domination, when you see teams, especially those dynasty teams like the USCs and the Bamas and the Clemsons, when you come out the gate, you don't leave any doubt in the first 2 quarters. It's we're hitting you in the mouth. We're defense, offense, special teams, all three phases. We're making impact, and that's what we need to start seeing here at Oregon, is because every position we've recruited with the best in the nation. We're developing with the best in the nation. And now we have to go out here and show that we can be one of the best in the nation on a day in and day out basis, every play, every snap, every down, every Saturday. Because you're going to get every team's best, because you've been bragged about by every analyst from the East Coast to the West Coast. You done went to Japan and came back. Your quarterback is on billboards in Japan. The Duck is chilling with Godzilla. Now you need to step on the field and you need to hit them in the mouth and make them quit. We we want submission. I don't need no 28-14 halftime. I need 35 zip halftime. I need 42 zip third quarters. I need this to be, we've done what we needed to do. We can take Dante out. He got his stats. We can put Achilles. We can put Dylan. We can put Brock, we can put whoever back there, we can put in our young guys and get those guys those reps, because that's how you build that dynasty. You dominate, and then you allow those guys behind the ones and twos to come in and get their reps, to have that game experience. So next year, they already know what to do. And it
Dominate,
works.
dominate, and show out, and no playing with your food in the third and fourth quarter.
Exactly.
Those guys on the bench have the talent to be focused and be great and compete for starting reps. They
Yeah,
should not. There shouldn't be this year a letdown. A lull, a loss of momentum when the number twos and the number threes come into the ball game.
exactly. And that's when Lanning has talked about, if you're good enough, you're old enough. And you're going to see freshmen, sophomore, juniors, seniors playing this year. And you're going to see them mixed in there and integrated because the coaching staff has found ways to say, okay, we're situational. We need Nazir White to play middle linebacker on this blitz while we got, Mateo and Tuioti coming out from the edges. And we got rushing playing D tackle, or we've got Bear playing edge, and we got somebody else. We've just got the ability to move players around and not just have them stuck in one position. And that makes your defense a Swiss Army knife because in situations, you're going to give this offense a different look they didn't expect. And now you got a mismatch in your favor.
You can be relentless. You can use all that position versatility you have, all those freak athletic traits they've got in this group.
Exactly.
Just unleash those guys.
Exactly. And that's where we're trying to get to that level to where we can step on the field every Saturday and beat up whoever it is, eat our food, don't play with it, hop back on the bus, get back to Eugene, enjoy the weekend, get healthy for the next week because you got to go to the horseshoe. And this time you for damn sure can't play with your food because they going to be sitting there not finna play with their food either. You're going to get used to these week in and week out battles against top teams in the conference. And you have to be able to say we're one of the top teams in the country because we can beat the top teams in the conference who happen to be top teams in the country. You're going to see the Ohio States and the IUs, and people keep sleeping on Michigan. Michigan's going to be in the thick of things. So we got to do it week in and week out and don't play with your food and be successful and lock in. And everybody's got to be on the same page.
And when you dominate somebody and you play the way you're supposed to, you put that game away.
Exactly.
And you transition to recovery, practice next week, and what's directly in front of you.
Exactly. And you take that mentality of 1-0 and stack the days. You stack your days, you stack your W's, and eventually you be sitting there talking about, okay, we on our way to Vegas to play for the national championship. And what you gonna do then there? Prepare to be 1-0 and stack your days and to get that W. And then after that, you get to hold that trophy if you've done everything right, like you're supposed to.
People are going to tell them they've already done it. They get to 5-0 or 4-0 or whatever. People are going to start talking at them like, it's already accomplished. And it's not. You're just that far. You can't start believing the hype. You can't start drinking the rat poison.
I mean, for Oregon, the thing is Oregon as a university has been in national championships before. They've been in the playoffs and won and got to the national championship before. Everything that Oregon has done in the last 26 years, they've done it before. None of this should be new now. Winning a Rose Bowl shouldn't be new. Winning a Fiesta Bowl shouldn't be new. Winning an Orange Bowl shouldn't be new. Yeah, it's great to win those things, but it's just another freaking day. The one thing that Oregon has not done is hold that natty title. That should be the main thing that makes every player in that locker room, every coach in that locker room hungry. The mentality that Whittingham is making the Ohio State Michigan game is just another game. Every game until that national championship game is just another game until you win that national championship game because you've never done that before.
Yeah, they've got to, focus on what is next for them and what they want. And
yeah,
they can't be, I don't think they will be. I don't see this as a team that gets distracted or takes their eyes off the ball or starts getting puffed up with their own hype. I don't think it's that kind of culture.
I was speaking of Lanning's Odyssey. This is honestly Mateo, Amari, Tuioti, Dante, most of those players, Evan, a lot of those guys who've been there since 2024, 2023, when you went undefeated, when you competed in the Pac-12 championship, when you went undefeated in the Big Ten in the first year and then got slaughtered, or you dealt with last year's, loss. You've been to a certain point and next year you went higher. But now you've had 2 seasons where you had it end the way it ended. That should make you hungrier because you've got a list of things you've got to do and you should be marking it off on the way. Ohio State is a gorilla. You're going to go to the horseshoe and that horseshoe is going to be blacked out. They wearing black uniforms. The place is going to be blacked out. I'm calling it already. I already said it was going to be a blackout. I don't care if we stormtroop, if we wear yellow, if we wear green, if we wear white. I don't care if we wear black. Look, you got to go to the horseshoe and you got to smack them in the mouth for how they did you at the Rose Bowl. You got to smack them in the mouth for the simple fact that they think that they got control over you. You got to smack them in the mouth and let them know that Oregon is going to be here and we ain't going nowhere. And smack them in the mouth so that way when you see them come to playoffs, you can smack them in the mouth again because you smacked them in the mouth at their crib and you smacked them in the mouth again for how they did you last time you met in the playoffs. You smacked them in the mouth every time you line up that ball against Ohio State. You smacked them in the mouth because they think that they are the pinnacle of college football. Yeah, they won the college football championship, and yeah, IU has won the college football championship. But the fact is, Oregon is making a statement by saying that we can be able to compete with these schools every day in every way. And Oregon has done it to a degree, but now you got to take it to another level and say that, hey, we can do this whenever we are supposed to step on this field.
Dan Lanning said in the last Ducks versus them video, we're better because we prepare better. Our preparation is what separates us. That standard of intensity and practice. Oregon, one of the coaches said this week, I don't really like gamers. I've never bought into the concept of a player who's a gamer who doesn't practice well. You play the way you practice.
Well, people talk about iron versus iron or iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
So if my roster's loaded, which they're going to be going against each other in reps, but the fact is I'm making it tough on everybody, not just physically, mentally. I got to make sure I'm finna run you. As well as running you, I got to see that you can maintain your level of play while you're tired. Because you want to compete, and it's going to come down to the fourth quarter where you've been on the field for 50 plays at a receiver or running back or quarterback or offensive line, and I need you to give me this 4th and 1. You got to dig deep. 4th and 1 in the fourth quarter, you on the road at the Horseshoe, and you down 3 on a 35. I need this 4th and 1. What I need you to execute. I need to make sure that my center is making sure the whole offensive line, Poncho, get everybody on the same page, find out where the mic is, which way we going with the protection. If we're running the ball, which way we going, who got the mic, who double teaming, who got the backside. Is it a read? Is it a straight keep? Like, you got to make sure those guys are on the same page. Just like the quarterback got to be on the same page with the running back to know if he blocking, if he keeping, if he giving, if the receivers are blocking, who going in motion, snap count, all of these things with the reads. You got to make sure all these things are going on at the same time. So you thinking about all this stuff at the same time, you over here breathing hard. It's 4th and 1. It's fourth quarter. It's 4 minutes. You on 35. It's a lot of things going on. So your emotions, that adrenaline kicking in, all those things. So people talk about high pressure situation. It's a high pressure situation, and all of this is going on up here. While you feeling your heartbeat 100 and something beats per second, while you trying to catch your breath, while the horseshoe is rocking, while these dudes in front of you lining up, and it's cold outside, and somebody breath stink, and you waiting to hear the snap count, and you don't want to false start. So yes. So if practice is harder than that, what makes you think, okay, it's 4th and 1. We on the 35. We finna get the ball to Jordan Davidson. We know it's a first down because we finna push everybody out the way. It's the confidence and the understanding. Okay, I know what the situation is, and I have confidence in myself that I'm not tired, and we're gonna execute this play with no problem. Communicate, execute.
And Dan Lanning prepares them for those specific situations. They've done it. They've rehearsed that 4th and 1 in their mind, on the practice field, in the film room, and they talked about it and prepared themselves in August, in July, and May.
And you hear a lot of those elite teams say practice is harder than the game, because practice is a lot of bodies moving at once. It's 100 guys on the practice field doing 100 different things at once, breathing hard, engaged physically, mentally. In the game, it's 11 players on the field, and it's another 90-something on the sideline cheering and communicating with them. But them 11 on the field got to make sure they got their eyes on the other 11 across the line of scrimmage. And it's a lot of going on outside of that. So when practice is a lot harder than that, all I got to do is my job and communicate, and we can communicate easily and no problem. You're supposed to succeed. You supposed to look like Alabama going into the in the Aggie Stadium. You supposed to look like Alabama going into Sanford Stadium back when they had Matthew Stafford and Noshawn Marino when they wore the black uniforms. You're supposed to go in there with Julio and do that and shock the world because nobody expected that UGA team to get blew out by that Bama team that actually went on to win the national championship. Like you just don't expect it, but that's how a team shows. Hey, we're not the same team that you thought we were before. And that's where Lanning should be getting those ducks, and this should be happening here either in this season, or the next season. We should be seeing those type of ducks show up. It should be dominant ducks, the dominant Oregon Ducks. It's not the Oregon Ducks get dominated. No, they're doing the dominating week in and week out.
I'm going to say something that might be outrageous. I hope it's not hyperbole, but Bistro, I think that this team, you always talk about when you face a team of equal talent in the playoffs. I don't think Oregon's going to face a team of equal talent in the playoff. There are some talented teams out there that they've got to respect and prepare for and dial in on the film study. But this team is more talented than anyone. It's deeper than anyone. Ohio State's a great team with a tremendous history. Jeremiah Smith, best player in college football. But top to bottom, this Oregon team is better right now, and they will be in November.
I mean, I could say that's a homer mentality, but I'm a Ducks fan. No, I'm just speaking. I'm a Ducks fan, but I also tell people I'm a realist because the thing is this, man, is I'm all for the game of football and I'm all for great competition. And I love watching football. Hell, when we get done with this, I'm finna watch high school football, and this high school football on the East Coast. Texas high school football start next week. But the way I look at it like this is I knew Lanning and this staff could recruit, knew Oregon could recruit even before we got Mario. We just needed the right coaches to tap into the resources to get the team to be in a successful position. You see that at programs like Texas. Texas is, of course, the richest athletic department in all of college football. That's one of the most talented rosters in college football. Oregon's one of the most talented rosters in college football. Ohio State's one of the most talented rosters in college football. Miami is one of the most talented rosters in college football. Those four teams for sure are four of the top most talented rosters in college football. LSU, because it's LSU, they've been getting players since they had Nick Saban. Even when they had Les Miles, they were getting players. One of the most talented rosters in college football. The thing is the coaches have to put their players in position to succeed. And you have some coaches, Sarkisian, Lane Kiffin, offensive-minded geniuses will make those gambles. You got a defensive-minded coach like Lanning, a defensive-minded coach like Kirby at Georgia, another talented roster as well. They're going to make certain decisions and moves based on their roster and how they see the game playing out in their mind. Might put their team in a great position, might have that freaking bubble screen against Ohio State from Miami that went the other way for 80-yard touchdown. You know, the players in those situations, the awareness, we don't know. I will say Oregon is one of the most talented rosters in college football. Yes. They have a shot to do the unthinkable. Yes. I can't literally say that they are the most talented team in all of college football. I honestly can't say that for any roster right now because it's so widespread. And again, the coaches got to put them in position to make plays because we can sit here and say Texas is the best roster in college football, and Sarkisian come out here and got Arch Manning playing like Sam Ellinger, running the ball 20 times instead of throwing it 20 times, and they can't move it. You know, we can't blame who do we blame because the coach is calling the plays. Arch is running what the coach is calling. But we know that they're talented enough to do more than what they're showing us. So do I believe in Lanning and the staff? Yes. Do I believe Oregon is one of the top rosters in college football? Yes. Ohio State is going to get it over Oregon because Ohio State, last time they played Oregon, smacked Oregon by 30 points and then went and won a natty and then went back to the playoffs and then lost to the team that made it to the natty, just like Oregon did. But Ohio State was a lot closer to Miami than Oregon was to IU. Oregon, the last two times Oregon's played in the playoffs, we took it on the chin and we were out cold by halftime. We didn't even get a standing 8 count.
Ooh.
So we've got more to prove. even if we are the New York Yankees, we the New York Yankees without a title. We got to prove something before we can even say we deserve this type of respect. We've got the roster to demand the respect. We've got the coach to demand the respect, but we don't have any natties to garner that type of respect that you give Ohio State, that you would give. Hell, you even give IU. IU in 2 years literally jumped everything Oregon's done in the last 20 some years. In 2 years, IU has literally jumped Oregon historically.
Yeah.
So for Oregon, yes, the last 26 years have been great. We've changed the way the game is played, in the way we look, in the way we run our offense, in the way our facilities look, in the way we do certain things. But we've always had to catch up to what everybody else did, and that was control the trenches. Control the trenches, get the players behind the trenches to execute, and now we are at that level. But now we've got to get over that gorilla of, okay, once we get into a must-win situation, we get knocked out. We got to stop getting knocked out and do the knocking out. And that's where Oregon is for me. Like, I loved going 14-0. Hell, I was at the Maryland game. I loved last year, even after we lost to IU.
Yeah.
But when it comes time to do or die, we've been dying horrible deaths. We looking like Joffrey at his wedding. Like we
Yeah.
blue in the face. Like people say we choking. We choking. We choking.
Yeah.
So we got to get to a point where we're not even close to that. We got to be looking like Jon Snow after he got stabbed by the Night's Watch. We got to come back from the dead and say, you know what? This ain't the end all be all. I'm taking over.
Yeah.
This is where we are. And I'm just ready to see the dominant Ducks show up, because I know it's a possibility and I know that we have the ability to do so. It's just now line the ball up, mark the ball, spot the ball, blow the whistle, and punch him in the mouth. Everybody. Boise, OK State, Portland State, USC, Northwestern, Ohio State, Michigan State, of course,
Illinois.
Washington, Illinois is a weird team, man, because it's Brent Bielema.
Yeah.
And people have to realize Brent Bielema is a conflict of a couple of things. He's a conflict of the old Wisconsin Barry Alvarez running back, legendary stable of backs since Ron Dane. They can run on you all day long. Passing game ain't always been there. They might throw for 225 yards with a touchdown or two with about 2 interceptions. That's the weird thing about Bielema's team. Even when he went to Arkansas, I knew it wasn't a good fit because he was playing in the Bama's hands. When you try to bring in that out formation, you play in the Bama's hands because it's a 3-4 defense and they singing it to everybody. And they got 5-star linebackers and D linemen that's gonna eat up your offensive linemen and stop the run. Bielema bringing his style back to the Big Ten, it suits it more because you got to be physical. You got to be physical at the line of scrimmage. If you can be physical at the line of scrimmage in the Big Ten, you have a shot. As far as skill guys, Illinois doesn't have all of the best skill guys in the world, but they were put in a position to be successful in certain games. When they played the Ducks a couple years ago, not so much. Will it look different this year? Of course. Illinois is trying to make some noise, and they done built the biggest scoreboard in college football. They had to jump over us after they saw ours, So there's a little bit of that competition going on. So everybody's going to give Oregon their best shot. But Oregon's got to say, okay, we know we're going to get your best shot, but your best shot shouldn't even leave a mark on us.
There's one place where Dan has to become a better coach, and I love him as a coach. I think he's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But Oregon is 41-0 when they under Dan Lanning, when they lead at the end of the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
There's something like 5 or 7 when the plan's not working.
Yeah.
When they got to scrap the plan and do something different, they don't do as well. They don't recover as well. They don't adjust to the next thing.
And I think that's a mixture of things. Your game plan, your play calling, your thought process in the moment, and your coaches and their adjustments as well. Lanning has the last and final say so, I'm sure, on both sides of the ball. At the same time, you might have to let go and let your coordinator say, you know what, coach, we might need to do this instead of what you're trying to do. Instead of Stein calling this screenplay, or instead of Stein putting in, a 4-string running back in the Wildcat, hey, you might not want to do that. And let's try something else. Let's try a bootleg pass. Let's try something else in the situation. Let's go this way. Let's make this left hand turn instead of making this right, because we've made 3 rights already. And so, yeah, he's going into his 5th year. Adjustments in the moment when you getting smacked upside the head, you've got to make those adjustments. You have to grow in that area. And again, he is young, but at the same time, he's been a head coach going into his 5th year now. And adjustment should be one of those things that should be a forefront for him, because you have to adjust in the game. Especially when you're facing a team as talented as you, it's not going to always go your way for the entire game. And you got to be able to say, okay, that didn't work. We thought it would. What's our adjustment? Okay, so if that's not working, why don't we hit them with the counter to this? Or why don't we use that to set this up, so that way when we do this, it might work, because the counter, or the counter to the counter to the counter, in the case of Chip Kelly, to the counter to the counter to the counter to the counter, the Statue of Liberty play to Jonathan Stewart with the fake and Dennis Dixon keep. Both of them actually went for a touchdown, but the one did, So that is, I agree with you. He does have to get better in that. He does have to get better with his adjustments, and his staff has to get better with adjustments as well. It's not just the landing thing; it's the position coaches as well. It's the coordinators, and we got to see how our coordinators come out and do. I have a lot more faith in Hampton, because Hampton's been a defensive coordinator before.
And a good one.
Yeah, he just came into a situation where he had to work with Tosh, because Tosh was going to get that spot, because Tosh is the reason Lanning is where he's at. Tosh believed in Lanning. Kirby believed in Lanning. So Tosh wanted to come back. And for people fail to realize, Tosh could have been a Duck twice before Lanning called. And both times he got called, he declined. But he got a call from Lanning one time, and that man was a Duck. So
Dan Lanning is a great recruiter of coaches, a great identifier of coaching talent. He's already got 3 head coaches on his tree.
Yeah. I mean, Dillingham, we knew Dillingham was good even when he was at Florida State. Tosh, people have known Tosh since his days at Bama. Stein, that one, I mean,
he pulled him out of a Texas high school.
Well, he came from Texas, Texas San Antonio. Prior to that, he coached at Lake Travis, the high school Baker Mayfield's from.
Yeah.
And Lake Travis at one point was winning state championships like every year. They are a pipeline. That's where Garrett Wilson went to high school. It's in the Austin area. So he's seen D1 talent on his team, and D1 talent from Austin Westlake, where the quarterback that was at Clemson went to high school. So, he's not a terrible coach. Some of his situational awareness play calling, I didn't agree with. I think he has a deep bag when it comes to play calling. I just think he chose the wrong plays out that bag sometimes. But I don't necessarily hate him. I just think some of his decision making wasn't the best. Now, Lanning, if people haven't realized it, Lanning has created strong ties to the state of Texas. Junior Adams recruited Texas well. We even sent Locke to Texas.
Samples?
But the thing with Samples is Samples' dad is a Texas high school coaching football legend.
Yeah.
DeCorian Moore played football for Samples' dad. Samples coached with his dad. I think, did he coach? No, I don't think Samples did coach with his dad. But his dad's been coaching for 30 plus years.
Most of it at Duncanville High School.
Well, he coached at Dallas Lincoln, then he coached at Dallas Skyline, then he coached at Duncanville.
Okay.
But he's made it to state at Lincoln and lost, and then he lost at Duncanville. His first state championship at Duncanville, they lost on a Hail Mary to North Shore. Like, end of the game, Hail Mary. Like, I'm in my friend's living room. We are all shocked, live TV. Like, this did not just happen. Yes. And Zach Evans was on that team. That's another name that, Zach Evans was on that North Shore team. And it was crazy. Then that Next year they lost to North Shore, and then they won back to back against North Shore. And DeCorian was a junior and a senior when they won those back to back. And then last year, Duncanville lost to North Shore. But yeah, Sample's dad is a Texas high school coaching legend. And then Marringer's from Arlington. So Arlington and Duncanville are literally about 15, 20 minutes away from each other. And Arlington has quite a few high schools. That's where Miles Garrett is from Arlington, Texas. Grew up literally 20 minutes, not even 20 minutes from AT&T Stadium. So we have the ties to Dallas-Fort Worth. And when I tell you there are so many high schools around here with so many kids with D1 talent, and if you tap into the right schools, Pipelines, DeSoto, Cedar Hill, Sock, Duncanville, North Crowley, South Lake, Euless Trinity, Highland Park, where Stafford's from, that's just basically the south side of Dallas-Fort Worth. You haven't even hit the north side. Up here, Allen, where Kyler Murray is from, Princeton, Anna, Frisco, with the freaking Frisco, Texas has somewhere between 12 to 15 high schools.
Jesus.
Yeah. And right now, if you looked up Rock Hill, Frisco, Rock Hill, that school looks like a freaking college campus. Frisco, Emerson, freaking college campus.
And his college stadium.
Yeah. Frisco plays some of their games at the Star where the Cowboys practice at.
Wow.
Yeah. And then they play other games at the Major League Soccer Stadium. So, when you tap into these schools and you get those coaches that can get you into those doors, like Miami with Mario, when we start going to Florida, you're going to be able to get a DeCorian. You're going to be able to come out of here and get you, a couple elite guys. And we're going to start seeing that more, especially if Merringer does well this year with his play calling and Sample stays. It's going to only be better for Oregon in recruiting in Texas, especially with USC trying to put a fence around California. I mean, but we'll see how well that works. When we go to the Coliseum, we might tear that fence down.
Yeah, September 26th. They can put a real dent in Lincoln Riley's future if that's a decisive game where they punch him in the mouth.
I mean, it's kind of weird that it's kind of shaping up to be like last year's whiteout situation with Penn State. If we beat USC, it could potentially snowball to where Lincoln Riley is gone, kind of in the same fashion that James Franklin was gone from Penn State last year. It just, for me, honestly, it's controlling the game when we go to LA, running the ball, keeping Lincoln Riley's offense off the field.
Yeah.
If you keep Lincoln Riley's offense off the field, it's like Peyton Manning. When you run the ball and keep Peyton Manning off the field, you have a better chance of beating them. Keeping them off the field and scoring touchdowns, better chance of beating them. Running the ball, scoring touchdowns, and then your defense can stop them. Oh, that just the chances just got way better. So, I mean, that's what I'm expecting to see when we go into LA. Honestly,
winning in the trenches, havoc and explosion.
You gotta win in the trenches. I mean, that's been the biggest indicator for so long. Is you've got to at least control the trenches, and then once they got expounded to you got to control the trenches, but as well have the elite players in space. Well, now we've got it all. So now let's put it all together.
B, you are a treasure. Oregon fans love you. I love you. I'm glad to have you on the show.
Appreciate it.
And we got to keep doing this. It's going to be the most fascinating year of Oregon football ever. And
buckle up. Buckle up, man. I love everybody back, man. It's all Duck love, as we say. I appreciate everybody, man, because when I come to Eugene, they always show me love and they look out for me and whoever's with me. When I can return the favor, I always try to, best ability. And I tell everybody, shoot me a DM. If you want to talk sports, do so. I get DMs daily from people, Dale included, and he's always talking to me about having me on the show. And I will always be grateful to come back, man. And I appreciate you for having me on a Saturday.
Well, we'll always be grateful to have you. I'm looking forward one day to getting down to Texas and seeing some of that high school football firsthand. I want to experience that.
Matter of fact, next weekend they have Jinx, Oklahoma is playing South Lake Carroll. Like,
Wow.
yeah, they get some of those big matchups, and then next weekend DeSoto's going to St. Thomas Aquinas. So yeah, it's that time of year, man. Come on down. We can pick a high school. You know, it's plenty of games to go to.
Yeah. And experience some real Texas barbecue.
Whew. Hey, it's gonna be something that's gonna knock your shoes off. I ain't gonna tell you no story on that one.
That's awesome. Have a great day and a great weekend, Bistro. I appreciate you.
You as well. As always, go Ducks and peace out.
Take care.